Bree and I have a lot of repotting to do today, so I thought we could do it together and just have a little chat. You can get to know me a little bit better, we can talk about everything going on in the world, and repot some plants, which is one of my favorite parts of plant care. One reason that I know that I need to start slowing down my consumption of new plants is that I have a pile about this big to repot almost every week, every other week. I've got roots coming out of my nursery pots. And that tells me I need to slow down a little bit because I'm giving my plants such a good environment that they're growing at a pace that is beyond what I can handle when it comes to repotting. This Monstera started out as a 2-leaf clipping, and look how well it's doing. Pretty soon I think I'm gonna propagate it. I'm not right now, but pretty soon I am, so it can have more than 2 stems, but I like the length. I love that this one's coming out all half moon, and then this one has the speckles. I'm gonna start with this one. So, like I said, my name's Bree. I've been in content creation for well over a decade now. I started on Instagram doing cruelty-free beauty. And honestly, over time, the older I've gotten, the more confident I've gotten within my own skin. I stopped wearing foundation years ago. And with that, slowly but surely, I'm wearing less and less makeup. Which means having a whole channel dedicated to makeup and beauty is a little bit silly. Last year, I fell absolutely in love with houseplants. And it's a passion that has become bigger than any other hobby I've ever had in my life other than dance. So I really wanted to share it with you. Oh, that's my baby Ro. She came to join us for this video. I wanted to share it. So I finally got the courage to create a YouTube channel, and here I am doing what I love, which is talking about plants. I'm gonna have to grab a nursery pot. I moved them kind of far away. I'm gonna have to move them a little bit closer real quick. Under. Okay. Oh, hi, Ro. Am I doing silly things? Can those sit with you? Okay. So I'm just probably gonna go one size up. I like using my dirty pots first. I think this is perfect. I got my chunky soil mix right over here. So when I'm reaching over here, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting some dirt. I am still partial to soil. I know so many people have all of their collection in semi-hydro, and more power to you. But I've bought a couple plants that were in pawn off of Facebook Marketplace, and the second I moved it to chunky soil, they exploded in growth, which in my head's not coincidental. So I really do stick with my chunky soil. This year I will experiment a little more with leca because I have some, but my tried and true soil is still my favorite way to go. So I got the whole root ball in. I did not disturb it at all. I do not like to tease my roots unless I'm trying to get off the nasty soil from like a big box store, but this was already in my soil mix because I'm the one that planted it. So I'm not messing with the roots at all. I'm leaving them as is, and I'm just gonna fill in around the plant. So if you can see my shirt, you know where I stand politically. I think it's very important to talk about. I know that might alienate some people from potentially watching my videos because we have differing beliefs, but the state that this world is in, it's not time to be quiet. It's time to be loud. It's time to stand up for people who don't have a voice. And that's how I've always been. I've always been very into activism and social justice. I've always been highly liberal. I was raised super conservative Christian, evangelical Christian, but that never stopped me from supporting the gays, from supporting what I knew was right. Human rights. All of us are humans. All of us deserve equal rights, whether we're from this country or not. Especially since the people at the top are all immigrants. Yeah, they might be from Europe, not South America or Mexico, but that doesn't make them superior in any way, shape, or form. So a little about me. I am queer. I identify as pansexual, which means I'm attracted to all genders. I'm attracted to people regardless of their gender, which worked out perfectly because I ended up falling in love with my high school best friend. who in high school was female. When we started dating, they identified as non-binary. And now, where we are in 2026, I have a husband. I have a trans male husband. And if you know anything about this administration, they are pretty much demonizing trans people. The love of my life is trans, and that is the person with the biggest heart I've ever met in my entire life. The sweetest, kindest person. I've also had a best friend that was trans in the past, and that is something that I will never shut up about. If you are brave enough to identify as something that you weren't born as, and you're willing to make your life more difficult to become that person who you really are on the inside, you should be praised, in my opinion. Not demonized, not ostracized. And anyone who disagrees with me, you know, really doesn't belong on my channel, because it's not something that I'm ever going to shy away from. I'm queer. I'm proud to be queer. I am in a queer relationship with a trans person. And I think that representation is needed. So even though this is a planty channel and we're sitting here repotting, I think it's stuff worth saying. I'm also Mexican American. And, you know, fuck guys. Fuck them all. So that's where I stand. Now you know. I'm saying it really early in my channel. This is probably only like my 4th YouTube video. And that is a core piece of who I am. And if you don't like it, I don't need to hear it. I mean, you can still comment on the video because that'll help me in the algorithm, but hate is not welcome here. All right, we got our first repot done now. No, holding it way too high. Oh, it looks so good. Let's move on. I have my Dean McDowell sitting here. We're gonna do that one. I actually have 2 crawlers to repot today, but they both started out pretty small, and so at this point, I'm not giving them the horizontal crawling planters just yet. I will eventually, as they size up and need it, but right now, I'm gonna keep them in my circular, normal nursery pots. So this is my Dean McDowell. I got it as a starter plant from the Green Escape on Etsy, and it's been doing really good. I haven't had any issues with yellowing. I haven't had any issues at all. The newest leaf is at least double the size of all the other ones, which is very exciting. I can't wait to continue to see it size up. I have to find an adequate nursery pot. Let's see. I feel like I could go a little bigger than that, but this seems a little crazy. What do we think? Actually, I think I'm gonna go for it. It's a Philodendron. It has a really robust root system. I think it can handle it. Get some more soil. It's interesting because although I created Instagram content for a long time, I got sponsorships in the beauty realm, all that jazz, I was terrified to speak to the camera. When I was a kid, I had a speech impediment. I had to go to speech for it in elementary school. Beyond that, I'm an introvert. It just made me nervous. I didn't have the self-confidence, I would say, to just talk to you like I'm talking to a friend. And I am a chatty little lady. Like, I like to talk, especially about things I'm passionate about. So the older I've gotten, the more I'm like, I'm just gonna do it and see what happens. So even though at this point I have 20 subscribers only, I'm thoroughly enjoying the process so far. I've learned how to edit videos. I mean, very, very basic. I could definitely improve in that realm, but it's exciting. I've always been an avid learner. I love learning. I am an academic librarian by trade, if that tells you anything about my personality. I like research. I love reading. So finding a new hobby where there's virtually endless information to absorb and learn is so exciting, especially since everyone does things a little differently. That's something I've seen, you know, watching YouTube, watching planty TikToks, is 2 people might have equally gorgeous plants, but they're treating them completely differently, and that's kind of fun. In my opinion, you get to experiment, see what works for you in your environment. I think humidity and temperature plays a big role, and we're all in different climates. I live in Western New York in Buffalo. I'm originally from California, though. I am not a New Yorker. I moved here during grad school, and last year my husband and I bought a house, so I guess we're here for a while now. California's just too freaking expensive. I thought about moving there when we got together because we were in a long distance relationship. As I said, we met in high school, so he was living in my hometown in California at the time when we got together. But financially, it just made sense to be here. It's cheaper. We're not surrounded by our conservative family that doesn't approve of our gayness. And that's not my family. My mom's amazing. I just throw it out there. So with this plant, this is a crawler, but as of right now, it is kind of already starting to climb on its own, which I didn't know was possible without attaching it to a moss bowl. So I actually think when I'm done repotting, I'm gonna get one of my plastic stakes that's a little bit bigger, because right now I have a tiny little wooden dowel. And I'm gonna try to see if this can continue to climb, because why not? It would take up less space as it gets bigger. I've seen people who have successfully got McDowells to climb, and I feel like the internodal spacing is pretty small. It takes up less space, even having the giant leaves. And I don't have infinite space, especially that has adequate lighting for my plants. So if I could get this to go upright, that would be really cool. How do you guys feel about crawlers? Do you still like them? I know some people move away from them because of spacing, but honestly, they're so pretty. I can't not have them in my collection. That's how I feel. Like, I like them enough to allow them to take up space. My gloriosum is in a crawling planter. It's pretty big. It's over there. I can't show you at this moment, but I'm hoping I have the same dream for this guy. That one's done too. We've already repotted 2 plants. I don't know how long I've been talking though. Let's move that over. Okay, let's do the other crawler, since we're talking about them. Honestly, I have to look up what this is called. I don't remember, but look at the newest leaf that comes out. I know it's a Pastazanum something hybrid, but I can't remember what the second plant is that it's hybridized with. I got this in my Ecuagenera order. I will, of course, put the name in the description if you're interested in getting a plant like this, because it is stunning. I just don't have the best memory in the world. Now this one, again, I don't have any crawling planters at the moment. The only one I have, my gloriosum, is taking up. But I still think, oh, they're behind me. I still think I could stick this in a clear planter. My dog's like, who are you talking to? I don't know if you can see her. She's right here. Right here. She's like, who the F are you talking to, Mom? What is happening? You've been chatty today. Which indeed I have been. Very accurate. It's almost like I'm drinking caffeine, but I had to give up caffeine in my old age, my ripe age of 30s, because it hurts my tummy. So I drank a bunch of decaffeinated tea now and had to give up my beloved coffee. These are stuck together. Are these the same size? No, this is slightly bigger. So I want to get my biggest one, my biggest clear planter. Okay. Yes, that'll be a perfect size up, actually. This will be really good. So I'm going to put some soil in the bottom. Another question I have for you, anyone who's actually listening, is what type of planty content do you most prefer to see? Do you like stuff like this where it's like plant chores? Do you prefer favorites and hauls and boxings like the old school YouTube? My personal favorite, I love watching Wild Fern. I think she's amazing. I love conversational, long form content. So pretty much what I'm trying to do right now. I want to see someone's collection. I'm nosy. I want to know what you got. I like feeling like I'm hanging out with people, you know? Like we're all plant besties here. You're in my living room and we're chatting it up. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be so cool if we all lived in the same area. Okay. Loosen this up a little bit so it's easy to slip out. Right now I just have this on a little wooden, it's a piece of a bamboo stake. And it's worked fine just to keep the leaves going upright, I think is my plan at the time. Okay, I'm going to stick it as far to one end as possible since it is a crawler. It's going to be going that way. This pot is not going to last very long for this plant, but it'll give me some time to buy a rectangular planter. I'm just going to hold that there. Ooh. Hair in my face. Hold it there, and I'm going to fill it. Now this plant too, the newest leaf, has sized up to be close to double the leaf size before, which is just incredible. I'm so excited about that. I was so nervous to do that import order. Did my first import order, I don't remember exactly when it was. I want to say September, but it might have been August. And I went with Ecuagenera because I had seen the most reviews on them. And it came all the way from Ecuador to New York. Well, it stopped in Florida and then came to New York. And I was all but certain half of them would arrive dead. I just didn't have a lot of hope with how long it was going to be in the mail. And boy, was I wrong. The only plant that is not absolutely thriving from that order is my Patriciae. And it has no roots at the moment, but everything else looks incredible. I was so impressed. I would definitely order from them again. Do I need a bunch more giant philodendrons? No, I do not. None of us do, I don't think. If you're watching Planty YouTube, you probably don't need more plants, but I definitely would recommend Ecuagenera if you want to do an import order because I had such good experience and I just used my own money. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. But I thought it was a great experience, really. I was so impressed with the condition in which they arrived, and I didn't have that much trouble acclimating. Now, I do have an IKEA greenhouse cabinet, and that might have made the acclimation process easier because I was able to keep them in very high humidity for the first probably 3 to 4 weeks. Because Ecuador and New York do not have the same climate, especially not Western New York. It was already getting cold by the time these arrived. I'm pretty sure I was wearing a turtleneck in the unboxing, if that tells you anything. I bought myself this folding table as a Christmas present because before I had it, when I would try to do repots inside my house, I was literally setting up a shoe rack on top of 2 ottomans and making that into a table. I mean, it worked. To be perfectly honest, it worked perfectly fine, but I decided to treat myself to a folding table so I can do my repotting, crafts. I've used it for a lot already. I plan on learning to sew this year, and this will also be my sewing table. Would you like to see that? Would you be interested in sewing content as an absolute novice? I wasn't planning on recording that for YouTube, but maybe I will, and just to see how it does. I don't know. I'm trying stuff out. Okay, looking good. Make sure there's no big air pockets. I think we're good. Look at that. Seriously becoming one of the most beautiful plants in my collection, slowly but surely. I love it. It's gorgeous. Again, I will put the actual name in the description. Okay, set that right there. Pretty soon I'm gonna have to start moving these. I'm running out of space. Ah! Okay. I got 1, 2, 3, I think I have 4 more plants to repot today. So I said I'll let you get to know me a little bit, so I guess I'll chat a little more about myself, which is kind of weird, but I'm new, so that's how you make friends, right? My undergraduate degree is in marine biology. I got it at Humboldt State University up in the Northern California coast, one of the most beautiful places I've ever been, let alone live. If you ever have the opportunity to go to the redwood forest in Humboldt, you know, it's just gorgeous. And marine biology was what I thought I'd be doing with the rest of my life. I still to this day am in love with the ocean. I love it probably more than anything but my husband and my dog maybe. I loved learning about it. I don't regret getting that degree at all because I got to take invert zoology. I got to take phycology, which is the study of seaweeds. I am a science nerd. I love it. I do. I adored the process of that degree. But my first field mission, which that's what I planned on doing. I wanted to be out on expeditions. I wanted to be on a boat collecting research. I had no interest in just working in a lab my whole life or an aquarium. I wanted to be out doing the thing. My first field expedition for a course, I got incredibly seasick. Like, I was throwing up the entire time. Sorry, but it's part of the story. So I learned like halfway through getting that degree that there's no way in hell that that was gonna be my career. I could not live on a boat. I could not take long boat trips. I would be sick the whole time and absolutely miserable. Looking for a pot. So with that, I kind of had to decide, am I gonna switch course 2/3 of the way through my degree? Or am I gonna finish it out because I do love the learning experience? I decided to finish it out. And I was in Humboldt at the time. I needed a job upon graduation. And I wound up working at a middle school. I had a lot of experience in childcare before that. I was a nanny. I worked in childcare at my church when I was a kid. So it was, I mean, it didn't seem like a perfect fit, but it actually made a lot of sense for the experience I had. And the librarian just happened to move to Guam the semester after I started working at the middle school. So I literally marched into the principal's office and said, hey, I want that librarian job. And she said, it's yours. So technically, it's like a library media specialist. I did not have a degree in library science. I had a bachelor's in marine biology. So I was making crap money. I was a paraprofessional, but I was the only librarian on campus. Like, I was running the entire library at that middle school. I was the queen of the library, as the kids would say. And I really, really loved it. I was shocked by how much I enjoyed it. The organization, the teaching the kids about information literacy and, you know, how to tell a good source from a bad source, how to use databases, the basics. So my mentor at the time encouraged me to get my master's degree in library science. That way I could do it at a higher level, make more money doing it, you know, make an actual career out of it. Because at that time I was having to nanny just to, you know, pay rent also. Like, that was not a sustainable job in and of itself. And so I did it. I ended up getting my master's degree through Syracuse University in library and information science. I got a certificate of advanced study at the same time in data science. Am I into data science? Not at all. Did I learn to code? I mean, yes, at the time I learned to code, but could I do it now? No. Oh, my phone is telling me I have low battery, so we might not make it all the way through this repot today, which is a shame. That's okay. If it dies, it dies. But I got the data science certificate because I thought it would make me more competitive and give me more options in case I didn't end up staying in the library world. But what I wanted to do was work at the university level. I wanted to assist in research. I wanted to help at a higher level of education. The middle schoolers were fun, don't get me wrong. I love kids, but that's not what I wanted to do long term. And I got that job right out of grad school. I had to do an internship as part of my graduation requirements. And where I did the internship is the university I got hired at. I was a full-time faculty member in an academic library for 7 years. And really, if I'm being completely honest, it was so boring. Like, I enjoyed the process of helping the students, yes. I enjoyed reading the literature in which I was finding for them because I just love to learn. But the job was not very fulfilling, and I kind of learned something about myself that a career and a job is not really where I get my fulfillment. I get it through relationships, through hobbies, through giving into my passions. And so last year I stopped working there, and now I am doing this. We just set up an Etsy shop. I just set up this YouTube channel, and I'm trying to see what I can do with it. I'll always love education. I'll always love learning. But as far as actually using that degree for a full-time job, that's no longer where I am. I'm always going to recommend books because reading has been a passion of mine since I was in kindergarten. I've always been a super avid reader. But to be honest, my librarian job at the university had absolutely nothing to do with books. I was assisting with research. I was in databases. I was online. I didn't do anything with the books. I'm just compacting the soil a little bit more because I saw some air pockets. This is my purple waffle plant. I don't remember if I said that. I initially bought this for a terrarium. My plan was to put this in a terrarium, but by the time I got to making the terrarium, it had already grown too big. Like it wouldn't fit in it. And now look at this sucker. Like, I am shocked at the growth this has had. I thought it needed like crazy high humidity. I don't know why I was under that impression, but it's been living in my bathroom and just absolutely loving life. It is a thirsty plant, I will warn you. Most of my plants I can get away with watering once a week. This one definitely prefers more than that. And there she is. Okay, my phone is gonna die. It's been saying 10% battery for a long time now, so I think I'm gonna end the video here. I have a couple more plants to repot. I will show them to you, but I'm not gonna be able to do them on screen because I just don't have the battery right now. Okay, here they are though. I have my Aglaonema Pictus Tricolor. And it's got roots coming out the bottom, so it is time to up it. It also has 2 pups already. So there's 3 little plants growing in here now, which is amazing. And then I got this beast of an Anthurium. It's just been growing so good for me. This is a Radicans by Luxurians hybrid Anthurium. And will you look at those chunky, noodly roots? Are you kidding me? So it clearly is begging to be repotted. And I'll try to show these 2 in some sort of video soon so you can see them up potted, but I mean, it's the same drill as everything I just did. I'm using chunky soil mix. If I have clear pots, I'll use them. If not, I'll use a different nursery pot. I just want to thank you so much if you stuck around till the end, because I'm just yapping my little head off. New to YouTube, I would love if you subscribed. I hope you have a magnificent day. Bye. I'm gonna have to crawl under this table to turn it off. I wonder if you'll be able to see me do it. I don't think so.